When you have ADHD, sleep can be an issue. And if you can improve your sleep, then there's a good chance that you will see an improvement in a lot of your symptoms. That's why I think it's a good idea that you actively work to improve your sleep. Of course, making a change in your habits is a hard thing to do for anyone, let alone people like us with ADHD. It's hard to maintain a habit if you forget to do it. In this video, I will give you some easy tips that you can do to increase your sleep quality. First, some things you only have to do once to get the benefits, and then some active tips that can also really help you. You don't have to use all these tips. If you try that, then you will likely don't do any of them. But if you want to improve your sleep, then write down some of these tips that you will implement this week. I can't stress this enough. Improving your sleep is one of the most important things you can do to improve your life. Other than diet, exercise, meditation and medication, sleep is often overlooked. And I know it's easy to jump to the next video and forget all about this video, but please don't. Don't procrastinate on getting better sleep. Nearly 75% of adults with ADHD have trouble with sleep, so you're not alone in this, if this is something you struggle with. And since not getting enough sleep causes symptoms similar to ADHD, it's not a surprise that when you get a good night's rest on a consistent basis, that you also have less problems handling your ADHD. So first, some easy, let's say passive tips you only have to do once to get a better night's sleep for years to come. Optimize your environment. First, make it dark. Try to get your room as dark as possible. Get rid of electronic alarm clocks and try to block out all the light, so even when the sun rises in the morning, your room is still pitch black. Second, try to reduce external noise. There are numerous studies about external noise and sleep quality, from traffic and such. So see what you can do to minimize this, like earplugs, a white noise machine, and soundproofing your room more. Like getting a small rubber strip to get rid of the gap under your door. It's also called a door sweep. And sound bounces off hard surfaces, so hang up some soft things on your wall like rugs or quilts, and of course the same goes for your floor. Then you can also use acoustic curtains, which are curtains especially made for reducing sound. If you can get the right ones, they will also help to make your room darker, so it's two birds with one stone. Now if you want to invest a little more, then you can also get double glazing windows, as that will reduce sound by a lot. And it will make your house more eco-friendly in the meantime. Next is getting the right alarm clock. I use an app called Sleep Cycle, which uses an accelerometer, if I pronounce it right, and microphone in the phone to track your movement while you sleep, and measures your sleep quality. It is not an exact science, but it will give you a rating of how good your sleep is. And I could really see my percentage of sleep quality going up after implementing some of these things. But the best thing about this app, for me, is the alarm clock. It will measure your sleep cycles, and when you are in the lightest possible sleep stage, the alarm will go off in a 30-minute window. So you're already almost awake. This helps because your normal alarm will not care about your sleep cycle. And if you wake up from deep or REM sleep, it will be much harder to wake up and start your day. In addition to this, I have an additional alarm clock on the opposite side of my room, which will go off at the end of this 30-minute window. So even if I fall back asleep for a few minutes, I will still have to get up. So for example, my sleep alarm is always set between 6:45 and 7:15. And at 7:15, my normal alarm goes off at the other side of my bedroom. Sleep Cycle is free and I'm not affiliated with them, but I definitely recommend this to everybody. I will put the link in the description. 5. Temperature. Again, a lot of studies have been done about this, and they say that a constant and little lower temperature is best. When your room fluctuates too much, you might wake up to need an extra blanket. When it's too warm, your body finds it hard to sleep, as your body actually needs to cool down to sleep. So, if you can try to set your room temperature for about 20 degrees Celsius or 70 degrees Fahrenheit, as that is about average, but of course it fluctuates between people, so try what works best for you. Number 6. Mattress, pillow and blanket. First off, is your mattress still okay? Have you had your mattress for more than 5 to 8 years? Then it might be time to get a new one, as mattresses do wear out and might not support you as good as they used to. And your pillow, are you sure it's the right one for you? Maybe try out some other ones and see if your sleep improves. Third is a new thing I discovered, and I haven't used it myself, but it could be helpful for some people, and that is weighted blankets. These blankets have shown positive results for several conditions, including autism, ADHD, and anxiety. They can help calm a restless body, reduce feelings of anxiety, and improve sleep troubles. The general rule is that it should be about 5 to 10% of your body weight. I will put some links in the description. 7. Reduce blue light intake. Blue light blocks the production of melatonin, which is needed for a healthy sleep cycle. The best way is to avoid artificial light, like screens and harsh lighting. The easiest thing you can do is install F.lux on your computer, which is a free program that reduces blue light emitted from your screen. It's available for Mac and Windows, and I will put a link in the description. Then, I will use a light blocking app for your mobile phone and dim your brightness in the evening. A lot of phones have this built in, so try to see if yours has that also. Then, I would look at the lights in your house. When the sun goes down, don't have too much bright lights in your house that can disturb your melatonin. If you can get dimmable lights, that will be best. And try to avoid white or blue light and go for yellow or soft lighting instead. Now I want to talk about some things you should not do. If you don't do these things, your sleep quality will be better. Don't drink caffeine after 3 p.m. This includes coffee of course, but also green tea and black tea. Caffeine is a stimulant and will mess with your sleep quality. Even if you can't fall asleep with caffeine, it will still impact your sleep quality. Caffeine can stay elevated in your blood for 6 to 8 hours. If you really need coffee, try decaf. But even in decaf there is caffeine. You can never get the caffeine out completely. But it's better than regular coffee. Don't drink anything 1 to 2 hours before bed. Although hydration is important and you should definitely drink a big glass of water right when you wake up, drinking any liquids right before bed will wake you up to pee, and this will impact your sleep quality. Also, it's handy to go to the bathroom right before bed. Don't exercise before going to bed. Exercise is great and one of the best ways to improve your sleep and even other symptoms of ADHD, which is a topic for another video. But exercising before bed is not a good idea as it will increase your alertness and hormones like epinephrine and adrenaline. Don't take naps during the day. Your body's circadian rhythm functions on a set loop, aligning itself with sunrise and sunset. If you take naps, this can confuse your internal clock. This definitely goes for longer naps of 30 minutes or more. There are some people who benefit from short power naps, but if you improve your sleep, you should not need it. Don't drink alcohol. Downing a couple drinks at night can negatively affect your sleep and hormones. Alcohol can cause and increase symptoms of sleep apnea, snoring, and disturb sleep patterns, and it messes up your melatonin. Alcohol might help you fall asleep faster, but it will not help you increase your sleep quality. It will actually decrease your sleep quality. So keep this in mind. Don't use your bed for anything else than sleep and sex. If you use your bed for studying, watching movies, reading books, or whatever, then your brain will not associate your bed to sleep, and this will make it harder to fall asleep when you decide to do so. Don't use screens or computers 1 hour before bed. You might have heard this one before, and I definitely agree. When you have an hour before bed without screens, you can have that time for something else, which I will get into the next section, which is the do's. I know I've made a big list, and if you're still watching, then that's great. I hope you really wrote down some things that you're gonna implement this week. If not, do you really think you're gonna remember all of this? Please do yourself a favor and write down these tips, as it is a big list, but when you can implement a few of these, you will improve your sleep. Don't try to use all of these at once. The passive tips are the best to start with, and they don't take the most effort. And then, go and choose a few items to work on this week. Just a few, mind you. Keep it to just 3 things, and when you implemented those things, then come back, because if you try to do all of them at once, you will probably do none. Now for the do's. Do get a wind down routine. Something you do every night to prime your brain to go to sleep. Our brain loves routines. If you have the right wind down routine, you can even improve other areas of your life. I will give you an example of my wind down routine, but anything you can come up with that helps you sleep better is fine. So the first thing I do is brush my teeth. This initiates the routine, but also before the routine I forgot to do it a lot. Then I sit down and meditate for about 5 to 10 minutes. This varies and can even be 1 minute. But as long as I just do it for any length of time, it's good. Then I have a journal and I write some things down that I'm grateful for. Some things that happened during the day and some things that I can improve on. All these things I will make a video on in the future, as this video is already long without too much explanation. Then I usually have about half an hour left, and in this I usually read a book. I read fiction myself, but you can read any book. Do relax and clear your mind. You can tie these into your wind down routine. A lot of times when you go from a busy day with your mind racing, and then when you finally get into bed, this might rush into your mind and you find it impossible to sleep because it didn't really have time to unwind. Strategies for this include listening to relaxing music, reading a book, taking a hot bath, meditating, deep breathing, or journaling. Try some of them out to see what you like best. The magic is not just hearing and knowing about all these techniques, but actually applying some of them. Do go to sleep and wake up at the same time every day. This is probably the hardest thing to do on this list, especially for people with ADHD, but I highly recommend this to anyone. Since I've been doing this myself, I've noticed that I've gone from being a night owl into more of a morning person. Being consistent with your sleep and waking times can aid long-term sleep quality. Do check if you have a sleep disorder. 25% of those with ADHD have sleep apnea or some other sleep disordered breathing problem. That is a huge number, and so you should check it out if you have a problem with that, as it definitely decreases sleep quality. ADHD and medication and sleep. Almost all ADHD medication can cause insomnia or disturb sleep as a side effect, especially if you take the longer acting medication that lasts 6 to 12 hours. They can have more side effects like these. Of course, a lot of people take the longer acting medication as you have to take less pills, which means one thing less to remember. And it could help you with mood swings, which are a side effect of the shorter acting medication. But if you really have a problem with medication causing your sleep to suffer, you might want to talk to your doctor about this. And last, I want to talk about supplements for sleep. Some supplements can help increase sleep quality and also help you fall asleep faster. I drink chamomile with valerian root tea after dinner as the last thing that I drink. You can also get these in tablet form if you don't like the tea. Then a lot of people are talking about melatonin. And if this works for you, great, but since it is a hormone, it is basically also hormone therapy. So if you implement some of these tips, you should not need this. Melatonin supplements appear to be safe when used for short periods of time, but not much is known about long-term safety yet. You can also take magnesium, which is good for relaxation and brain health, which might also help with other symptoms, as a lot of people with ADHD have a magnesium deficiency, where I have seen studies ranging from 58 to 72% of people with ADHD being deficient in magnesium. I know this is all a lot of information, but I did not want to leave anything out. Please let me know in the comments if you have found something that helped you improve your sleep, or which of these you are going to implement this week. I also want to mention that I'm coaching one person with ADHD or ADD for free for 3 months. The only thing you need to do is subscribe, like and comment, and I will randomly pick a person from that group. I hope you will sleep great tonight, and I will see you in the next one.